Hey guys, what's up? Now today is another day where I will practice with my study plan, with the French study plan, and also at the same time I will practice with the scripts of YouTube videos. So basically the first part of this video is gonna be entirely dedicated to you because you will be again seeing how I practice with the script of French. If your level is between beginner or intermediate level, you need to practice with the script of French. And as for me, as someone who is not a beginner or intermediate level, as someone who is an advanced level, I need to practice with the script of YouTube videos. And remember that when you practice with the script of YouTube videos, you need to have a specific goal. Okay? So basically, if you're between intermediate and advanced level, you can do the exact same things that I do in the second part of this video. Today is the third day, and again, I practice on the second episode of French. And today, based on this study plan, I will only work on the minutes between 5 and minute 8. Okay guys, but first things first, again, I start my day by watching Friends while having my breakfast. Okay guys? Okay, I got my toast here. Now I'm gonna watch Friends. I'm starting from the minute 5 because today I will be working on the only minute 5 and minute 8, but I will stop when I finish my toast, and yeah, that's it. Now it's time to watch Friends while I'm having my breakfast. Before I start to practice with the script of French, very quick reminder, you can download all the English sources that I use in my videos, every single one of them for free. Okay, are you ready? Because if you're ready, I'm ready. I'm starting to practice English with the script of French.
Yeah, calm down. You don't see Ross getting all chaotic and twirly every time they come?
Okay, you don't see Ross getting all chaotic and twirly every time they come. You don't see Ross getting chaotic and twirly every time they come.
That's because as far as my parents are concerned, Ross can do no wrong.
That's because as far as my parents are concerned, Ross can do no wrong.
Remember me? I'm the girl in the veil that stomped on your heart in front of your entire family.
Hi Barry, remember me? I'm the girl that stomped on your heart in front of your entire family. Hi Barry, remember me? I'm the girl that stomped on your heart in front of your entire family. For instance, guys, I don't know if you know the meaning of stomp. Stomp. What is the meaning of stomp? Do you know the meaning of stomp? I'll insert a picture here. This is the exact meaning of stomp. But for me, when someone says stomp, directly Monica comes to my mind because
good night, everybody.
Night.
when you step on the floor very violently, very severely, like when you crash something on the floor, that means you're stomping on something. This is the meaning of stomp, and I learned the meaning of stomp from this scene, from this exact scene. So basically, stomp for me reminds me Rachel and Monica. So basically, Friends helps you practicing with the scripts of TV shows, helps you to learn words in the most natural way because you always learn words with stories. You always associate the words with stories. You're always able to make connections between words, stories, and characters. Okay, so this is how it works for me.
Oh God, and now I'm gonna have to return the ring without the ring, which makes it so much harder.
Or I'm gonna have to return the ring without the ring, which makes it so much harder. Now, okay, return. I would like to talk about this return, this word. Every single one of you knows the meaning of return. But the problem with speaking English is that it doesn't matter how well you know the words. When it comes to speak, you're not able to use the words that you already know, right? This is the main problem that we're struggling with. For me, this basic word return, which I know the meaning of return and you know the meaning of return, has a story. Return is associated with stories, different stories. Now I'm gonna have to return the ring without the ring, which makes it so much harder. This is the first context that I remember return. I can associate this word return with Rachel. But other than associating this word return with Rachel, I also remember return with different stories, within different stories from my different studies. You know that I practice English with this script of The Crown. For some reason, I can remember return within this context. I returned to London.
Good afternoon. I've returned to London to visit my mother, Queen Mary.
And also, you know that I practice with YouTubers, with vloggers, and I practice with Kennedy. And I can remember Kennedy saying like, now I'm gonna return a pair of jeans. I put it off, you know, it's a task that I put it off, and I'm gonna return a pair of jeans.
Next up, something I've been putting off for quite some time now is I have to return a pair of pants.
So I returned to London, I'm gonna return a pair of jeans, and I'm gonna have to return the ring. So do you see that? Do you see what I am doing here? Do you see how it works for me? Do you see how I learned English and how I keep learning English? For me, it's all about story, it's all about speaking English. Return a pair of jeans, I'm gonna return a pair of jeans, I'm gonna return a ring, I return to London. And also I remember Ross saying that we were asked never to return.
They fixed the ride and we were asked never to return to the Magic Kingdom.
You need to learn English like this, with stories and by repeating those lines. By repeating those lines without memorizing them. I'm gonna have to return the ring without the ring, which makes it so much harder. By the way, spring is coming, and you know my mood is 100% tied to the weather, and finally spring is coming, so that means I will be more and more productive and more happier, I'm sorry. What does she mean by involved? She's so great. She's so great. I miss her. You see, guys, I directly remember Phoebe.
She is so great. I miss her.
And everybody turns to Phoebe. What does she mean by involved? I mean, presumably, gender. I mean, presumably, the biggest part of her job is done.
What does she mean by involved?
I mean, presumably, the biggest part of your job is done.
I right now made it to 8. You know, I practice on this minutes 5 and 8 again and again. Okay, now I'm gonna make my coffee. I'm done with practicing with friends because now I'm gonna practice with the script of Taylor Bell. Before I start to study with this video, with the script of this video, I would like to say a few things. Obviously, many of you are at a different level in terms of speaking English right now, and many of you have different goals. You might be asking this, for instance, let's say you're between somewhere intermediate or advanced level and you're getting ready for university exam. Maybe you're getting right now for an interview, right? Maybe you will have to do PhD or a master and you will have to do an interview. Or maybe you will get a job at a corporate, maybe you will get a job somewhere. So basically you need to master your English. And obviously many of you are not going to be beginner or intermediate a year and a half from now, right? Basically, at this point, many of you are, you know, in your 20s or 30s, and you will have to get a job. Maybe you're searching for a job. Maybe you're looking for a job, and at some point you will have to have a very advanced English, right? This is why you know that I have this second channel where I will start posting on this channel on different subjects, on different topics. Basically, I will be kind of guys showing you, documenting how I am able to improve my English and think in English on different specific subjects and topics. For instance, I would like to make a video about the rent prices in Istanbul. I would like to talk about the economic situation in Istanbul. I would like to talk about, you know, how to look for an apartment in Istanbul. And in order to talk about this subject, in order to talk about this topic, first of all, what I need to do is I need to do a little research on this topic. I need to find videos on YouTube or podcasts that cover those topics, and I need to get the script of those YouTube videos or podcasts, and I need to start practicing with those scripts of YouTube videos or podcasts, okay? So this is why, for instance, I found a video where Taylor Bell is talking about how to look for an apartment in New York City. Obviously, I will not be making videos about New York City since I'm not living in New York right now. I will be making videos about, for instance, right now I'm in Istanbul, so I will be making videos how to look for an apartment in Istanbul. My goal is to not copy the way she speaks. My goal and my purpose is to identify the topic, identify the terms that she is using in her videos, identify the terms and vocabulary and language that she is using in her videos.
Typically, you will need financial documents in the form of a tax return, 2 or more pay stubs.
Quick 3D tour. I live in a high-rise luxury
luxury apartments in New York, financial documents in the form of a tax return, 2 or more pay stubs.
What is pay stubs? For instance, I would like to know about the pay stub. A pay stub is a document issued by an employer that shows an employee's gross earning, the deductions from those earnings, and net pay. This is the first time I heard about a pay stub. Ah, there is even a video about what pay stub means.
Let's talk about it. Your pay stub is something that your employer is legally obligated to provide you every time you get paid. It mainly consists of 2 things: earnings and mandatory deductions.
Earnings are the amount of money you earn for the period you work.
Now, net pay is the amount of money you receive after all applicable deductions are made from your gross pay,
Some people call this your take-home pay.
because it's the amount that actually ends up in your pocket.
Did you see that, guys? This is the first time that I learned what the pay stubs meant in English. So that is what pay stubs means in English. Did you see that, guys? So basically, this is what I'm talking about. While you're practicing with those YouTube videos that is related to your subject, the topic that you would like to talk about, you learn the terms, specific terms that is related to your subject.
For your own sake, just have all that stuff ready to go so you can sign for a place at the drop of a hat if you need to. For your own sake, just have all that stuff ready to go so you can sign for a place at the drop of a hat if you need to.
Okay, at the drop of a hat if you need to. I don't know the meaning of it. At the drop of a hat.
I've heard that it is good to reach out to them in every single way possible that you can, even if it feels like you're pestering them a little bit. Good to reach out to them in every single way possible that you can, even if it feels like you're pestering them a little bit.
Pestering them, I don't know the meaning of pester. For instance, let's take a look at this meaning of pester. Trouble or annoy someone with frequent or persistent requests or interruptions. Okay guys, now I stopped the session here because I will not be able to fit whole this session into one video. So I stop looking upwards right now because it's already been so long. So yeah, now I'm gonna go take a walk. Let me give you guys one piece of advice while I'm taking a walk. Right now your goal is to learn a language, right? You need to keep the process as simple as possible. Unfortunately, we tend to overcomplicate things. What I mean by this is, for instance, if you look at what I did today, I watched Friends, 10 minutes of Friends, while I was having my breakfast today, right? I practiced with my scripts, and then I watched Taylor Bell, this YouTube video. I look up the words in the dictionary, and that was it. So simple. I didn't watch any other YouTube video. For instance, you know, I didn't watch lots of episodes of Friends. For instance, you want to learn a language, right? You want to learn English, and you're binge watching lots of videos about learning English, and it's just waste of time because you don't keep the process simple. But when it comes to learning a language, in order to increase your productivity, you need to keep the process as simple as possible. Don't watch hundreds of videos on YouTube, or you don't need to watch, you don't even need to watch hundreds of many TV shows or movies in order to learn English. Unfortunately, as a language learner, we tend to make the process complicated. We tend to overcomplicate things. You don't need to do a bunch of things in order to learn English. Okay, right now there is this podcast, Damon Dominic. I'm gonna watch this podcast because now it's time for a walk. I'm gonna listen to this podcast while I'm taking this 20-30 minutes walk.